go live via satellite to the Deputy Leader of the Liberal Democrats. Daisy Cooper is waiting to talk to us. And I must admit, Daisy Cooper, I've been looking forward to talking to you. I haven't talked to you in a while because although I don't vote for any party, don't vote for any of you, you are impressive. You are absolutely impressive. I watch you and I think she talks a lot of sense. Now, today, you're coming out and you're calling for a legal guarantee that no one will wait longer than 12 hours in A&E. Now, I get that, but how on earth do you enforce that?
Well, we have an NHS constitution. I should say good morning, by the way. We have an NHS constitution that already enshrines a number of legal rights, and in other policy areas like, clean air targets, there are things that are written into law. And whilst individuals can't sue, we wouldn't want individuals, necessarily suing the NHS over this. It does mean that people collectively could take the government to court if they weren't doing enough to meet those targets. And we've seen similar kind of actions before. And so I think it would be a really important and strong statement to say that we want to have this kind of legal right enshrined in our NHS constitution. But what we're saying at the same time today is, at the same time as having a legal right, we, Liberal Democrats, really want to invest £1.5 billion to finally tackle this scandal of 12-hour trolley waits in A&E. A decade ago, in November 2015, just 29 people in England were stuck in a trolley in a corridor for more than 12 hours. And last year, it spiralled to 45,000. That is an unprecedented scandal. And that means that people are stuck in corridors without dignity, often without a buzzer, without water. And we say that has to end.
Because, Daisy, it's become normalised. I think it used to be, and she had to be treated in a corridor. But now I think they just know how many people can we get in that corridor. 12 people in that corridor. Yeah, that's standard practice now.
Look, you're absolutely right. It has become normalised to the point where a number of hospital trusts are now advertising for staff to specifically be nurses and assistants in the actual corridor. But isn't that shocking? And what we Liberal Democrats are saying today is that this should not be normalised. It should be a scandal. These numbers should shock us, and we want to tackle it. And we think that with £1.5 billion, that would make 6,000 more beds available every single day in hospitals, in care homes, and by freeing up beds by people who don't need to be there being released earlier so they can go home. This would be a package that would save an enormous amount of distress. And it is just worth saying that even though it has become normalised, it is devastating for patients and their health outcomes. And it is so demoralising for our NHS staff as well. They hate providing care in corridors. So we absolutely shouldn't blame staff for this. This is a failure of successive governments to get to grips with it. And we Liberal Democrats have got a plan to fix it.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cybercriminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GBNews discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GBnews to start protecting yourself digitally today.
The Technology Secretary has announced a new criminal offence for creating AI-generated sexualised images. This is after Grok, which is the AI platform on Elon Musk's X platform, was being used to undress, using AI, children and women as well. Do you support that new criminal offence? And do you think that we need to go further? Do you think we need to ban X as a platform?
We do support the government in everything that they announced yesterday, and I was really pleased to hear that announcement. But yes, we do want to go further. We Liberal Democrats think that X should be suspended here in the UK pending this investigation. Now, I would say that that platform has been a cesspit for a very long time, but it has crossed a line. It really has crossed a line, not just undressing women in sexualised images, but babies and toddlers. I mean, the images, I haven't seen them, but I've read about them. I've read the descriptions, and they make me sick to my stomach just reading about them. That has crossed the line. This is illegal behaviour, and we need to be tough. We need a government that is going to stand up to these big tech giants. And in addition to that, we want a national crime agency investigation into the platform. And we also think that any politician, including somebody like Nigel Farage, who makes money off that platform, should donate those proceeds to a relevant charity.
Interesting. So, looking at what X can do, you think, would you go as far as saying this platform should be banned or just policed?
Well, look, we have the Online Safety Act, and it's better that we have that act than don't have it. It was a bit of a dog's breakfast when it was put together by the last government, and Ofcom, as the regulator that is supposed to enforce it, does need to be acting with far more urgency. And many of us have been asking questions as to why it hasn't acted sooner. What we have said we want to see right now is a suspension of X pending that investigation. It is worth noting that there has been this outcry, rightly, about the use of Grok, and Elon Musk could have taken action. They could have taken action. They could have stopped the use of Grok for these purposes, but they didn't. They just moved it to the subscriber only function. And some people have argued it was a very cynical move, some people say, because they were driving up demand for it and then made people pay for it. I don't know whether that's true or not, but quite frankly, they should have shut it down straight away. But their failure to shut it down shows that these big tech giants think they can get away with illegal behaviour, and we have got to show that our government and our regulators can stand up to that kind of behaviour.
And does that bring us back to the situation where under 16-year-olds should have their access restricted to social media platforms?
So look, something has got to be done to protect our children from the enormous harms of social media. We would like to see a more nuanced approach, and we've put forward suggestions about how that could be done in terms of having sort of doom scrolling notices and health warnings on social media apps and other kind of measures that are used in other kind of health prevention tools, whether that's sort of cigarettes or alcohol and all the rest of it. But if it was the only option on the table, if it was a ban or nothing at all, we'd certainly consider it. But I do think that there are better ways to tackle this issue. But we'll work cross-party, because I think given the outcry from young people themselves and their parents, they want politicians to act.
OK, Daisy Cooper, we're out of time with you this morning, I'm afraid, but thank you for joining us on GB News Breakfast.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daisy. Thank you very much.